Won't see Hunter Greene on opening day. Could we see him in the second half? We shall see. And season over, Danny? No Hunter Greene? Season's over?
Spring training's almost over. How about that?
All right. Well, welcome to Riverfront Territory, a show on the Foul Territory Network. I am C. Trent Rosecrans. He is Mr. Danny Graves, the Reds' all-time saves leader, Reds Hall of Famer, and, all-around swell dude. So, Danny, the big news today is it's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's not the catastrophic news that a lot of people were, the doom, the naysayers were talking about, but it's also not the best of news. Hunter Greene is going to be out 14 to 16 weeks. He's going to have arthroscopic surgery on his right elbow to remove loose bodies. And on Wednesday in Los Angeles, and should be back. Well, they hope he'll be back in July. Kind of what's your quick reaction to this news, Danny?
Well, thankful that he's not going to be out for a year and a half, because that's what it could have been. That's what I think a lot of people had in the back of their mind. I know he just said soreness and possible bone chips going into it, but I think anybody that watches baseball knows that anything with the elbow, there's a possibility of that UCL being ripped in half. So I think the silver lining, great that he isn't going to be out for too long. It stinks that he's going to be out for a little bit, but I think they can manage. They can manage for 14 to 16 weeks or whatever they said the time frame is.
Yeah, and so it's going to be one of those things. What do you do with your loose bodies, Danny?
My loose bodies, I don't know what loose bodies I have, and I don't want to know, but I'm just thankful I don't have to have a surgery to get rid of any loose bodies.
But you were actually, you're kind of an anomaly among pitchers, right? That you didn't have that many injuries. You never went on the DL back
one time.
One time.
And that was just a strained lower back. And I could have, been able to stay on and stay active, but it was the end of the season. We were out of it. And they said, there's no reason to keep pushing to get you back for 2 weeks. So they put me on the IL in the middle of August so that they can call somebody up and not have to wait until September. But other than that, I was active my whole career, thankfully.
So yeah, and that's not the usual for someone with a career as long as yours, throwing a baseball.
Right. It's not the norm, I would say. And I did have a little cleanup in my shoulder in 1997 in the off season, but nobody would have ever known that I had anything done because I didn't miss any time. But I can also say, Trent, that I wasn't a max effort guy pitching every single pitch that I threw. And that's what a lot of pitchers are these days. And unfortunately, max effort on 100 pitches a game could be detrimental to your health.
Yeah. So you've never thrown 39 pitches in one game that were 100 miles per hour or more?
I've never thrown one pitch in a game that's been 100 miles an hour or more. Yeah, certainly not even close to what Hunter Greene has been capable of doing.
So, this kind of goes in. This is the guy that the Reds, and I think everybody in baseball says, this guy could be the ace. If you're in October, and even though he got his first shot and it didn't go as well as everybody would like this past October, you still feel pretty good going into October with Hunter Greene. Does the fact that he has been on the IL every year of his career worry you about that?
I'm not necessarily worried about that. I think as he grows as a pitcher, he's going to learn different things on how to stay healthy and how to, I don't know, maybe adjust his routines in between starts or adjust his routine in the off season to try to be able to stay healthy. He's still kind of a kid, right? He's still young and he's still trying to figure out how to pitch 150 to 180 innings a year. This is just a minor setback right now. And, speaking of the the one game in postseason that he played last year, I don't think we can judge him on that yet. Being a postseason player, just that's one start, one start that wasn't as he wished that it was. But you move on. But here's the thing, Trent. I feel like the biggest thing, if he comes back in 14 to 16 weeks in July, like they say, guess what? The Reds just traded to get Hunter Greene for the last couple of months of the season. So it's right around the trade deadline. This is perfect.
I wouldn't go perfect, but you'd rather have him for the second half of the season than the first half.
Yes.
Especially if you have playoff aspirations.
Right. And
that's
be
what the
strong and
Dodgers
healthy.
did. I mean, the Dodgers are completely different because, they had 70 guys who each made $3 billion coming back at the end. But you had Shohei Ohtani ramping up. You had Snell coming up at the end.
Yep.
And quite honestly, this is why this offseason, when some people were like, oh, you got to trade him. You have all this depth. Why don't you just trade him for a bat? That was a little bit tougher. And then those same people are now like, well, you got to go get somebody now. It's like, wait. Before he got hurt, you had way too many pitchers, and now you don't have enough. It's like there are these histrionics and overreactions so often that it's pretty annoying. But the bottom line is pitchers get hurt. 1, it's good to have depth. 2, the Reds have depth. 3, and 4, well, if Hunter Greene is healthy in October and maybe a little more rested in October, you feel better about October. And I would much rather have him for a game 1 of the postseason than game 1 of 162.
Dude, you said it perfectly. I just the way that you just broke that down, but also going back where you said, well, the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani was ramping up at the end of the season, Blake Snell ramping up at the end of the season, and that's what Hunter Greene's going to be doing. If there's playoff aspirations in July and August for the Reds, this is going to be great. It's going to be a huge thing for them, a huge boost, even in that locker room to get Hunter Greene back in July.
Yeah, and I have this as the outfield instead of rotation, but other than that,
I didn't even notice that.
I did right away.
Yeah.
So, but if you look at it, and these are your 6, you're not, I don't know, you're not going World Series here would come, but you're that's decent. You can live with that, and it's also better than what they lived with for 2 months last season when Hunter Greene was out.
Yeah. This is a nice little 6-man rotation if they had a 6-man rotation. You know, I don't think they don't have that number 1 that we're calling Hunter Greene, but we could say they have a bunch of number 2s, right? A bunch of number 2s and 3s. I'm saying if we're giving Hunter Greene the title of the ace, okay, we don't have that. But you've got a bunch of great arms here and guys that have had success at the big league level. So I'm comfortable with what's here.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Abbott was an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're talking about pure stuff, you can put Chase Burns right there with Hunter Greene. I mean, and I know that's a big statement, but we've seen it.
Yeah. Agreed. Chase Burns' stuff is just as good as anybody's.
Yeah, and that includes Hunter Greene, whose stuff is as good as anybody. I mean, these are guys that you're talking their stuff up there with Shohei Ohtani, up there with Paul Skeens. I mean, elite stuff. And then you have Lodolo, who is, again, speaking of someone who has not made it through a full season. But when Lodolo's good, watch out. Singer, you just how important to Danny is it for just to have a guy like Singer that every day he's going to go out there and give you 5 to 6 innings, especially in today's game. He's going to be he may not be overpowering every day, but he's not going to be awful. Maybe
Right.
one or two clunkers here and there. I mean, it's almost that Bronson Arroyo, right? Where you just know what you're going to get
Yeah.
every time out. You might have a clunker every once in a while, but then you'll have 5 where you're in it. And if you guys lose, it's not because of the starting pitching.
Right. And even the clunkers, he's still giving some innings. It's not like he's going 2/3 of an innings and see you later.
Yeah.
And then the bullpen has to pick the rest of it up. I mean, I think that Arroyo is a good comp. Back in the days that I was playing, Pete Harnish was that guy.
Right.
Like, you knew that you were going to get 6 or 7 innings out of him, whether it was dominating or if it wasn't good, he was going to go out there and still take the lumps to get the ball to the bullpen later in the game. So it's huge to have a guy like Brady Singer with the rest of these guys in this rotation.
And quite honestly, if you're the closer, you're saying, all right, he's on the mound today. I got a pretty good chance coming in the game. You know, I'm sure there are guys that you go into like and go, whoo, day off for me.
Yeah. Unless we scored 15 runs also, I'm not pitching today.
Which you could. That lineup, you had some runs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of where we
There's
are.
no panic. No panic,
there's
right?
no panic. And I think that's the point. And so with that, we will be right back after this message from one of our fantastic sponsors that we love. Go watch them. Wrong sponsor.
We love HelloFresh. Shout out to them, and over 100 recipes to choose from each week to provide variety. They're the spice of life. They don't make it boring for you when you're preparing food. Also, there's 3 times the seafood for no upcharge. AJ, they wanted you to know that you can impress your guests or your family with new grass-fed steak ribeyes. And you can make meals with seasonal produce like pears, apples, and asparagus.
Well, listen, Scott, I'm trying to stay in my playing/fighting shape, so I need the seafood, I need the protein, and I need the veggies. And plus, I want to look cool when people come over and say, wow, you made all this stuff? And I'll be like, easy peasy.
A new slogan, HelloFresh, making AJ look good. So go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free Zwilling knife, a $144.99 value on your 3rd box. Offer valid while supplies last. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. Because when dinner tastes this good, nothing hits like home cooking.
All of our World Baseball Classic coverage is brought to you by our friends at Fox One, which is live. Stream all your Fox favorites together in one place, including all WBC games over the next few weeks. And after that, the best MLB action all season long.
Well, Danny, let's talk a little bit about this. What did you think, or have you thought so far about the WBC? Have you been watching?
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit. Yeah, obviously, just selfishly, just Team USA. I haven't watched a whole lot of the others. Not knowing too many other players. But Team USA is. I know they said coming into this is the best roster they've ever had, and I kept thinking, ever. But then you watch them and it's like, ooh, maybe it is the best roster ever. Man, they can just explode. I know in their last game against Mexico, they only scored the 5 runs in the 1 inning, but it was quick. And it was just like that. It felt like game was over. The 5 runs they put up.
Well, and then this morning, we're recording this on Tuesday, Japan did kind of the same thing. They were scoreless in the bottom of the 8th. And if you look at the score, it finished, I think, 9-0. But it went quick from just like, oh my God, could this be the biggest upset in WBC history with Chechnya defeating Team Japan, the 3-time champs, 2-time defending champs with the greatest pitcher of all time. You had an electrician striking out, maybe the best player ever. So, that's what this does. And you watched, that Nicaragua game that. They lost. You had 2 walk-offs. You had never had walk-off homers in the WBC until you had 2 in one day this week.
Yeah, amazing.
watching that Japan and Korea. But quite honestly, what I loved watching was like, okay, Czechia, Australia, they are pushing Korea and Japan. Chinese Taipei won 2 games. I mean, like, we saw our old friend Stuart Fairchild hit a home run there. Just all sorts of fun stuff. It was, what has really impressed me is the depth of this tournament. And every game that you think is just like a nothing, like Czechia, Japan, turns out to be just a wonderful game until they put up 9 in the bottom of the 8th. Because Murakami comes up. It was one of those. There's a couple of those. Australia yesterday, I mean, they had to have a massive mess up to not advance, and then they had a massive mess up, and it was one of those where it was all about how many runs each team scored because there was a tie, and then the last place team takes the first place team all the way to the wire. I don't know, man. It's just been awesome and fun.
Even Great Britain against Team USA the other day, it was a close game until like the 6th inning, and then USA blew it open.
Well, and then against Brazil, you had a high school kid, a kid who is going to go back to his high school team in Atlanta, facing Aaron Judge with runners on, and gets a double play to end it.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know it's the son of a big leaguer, Contreras, and you see these. I mean, how old does it feel that you see Contreras and Andrew Jones's kid and all these guys that you faced, and now their kids are doing this? But it's been super cool. Watching Venezuela, Eugenio Suárez, his first at bat was actually a really good at bat. I think he got down, worked it back to full, and then just hit a no doubter. It was that Eugenio Suárez. I mean, quite honestly, like, usually left-handed swings just are always so much prettier. But Eugenio Suárez has one of the nicest right-handed swings you'll see.
It's pretty smooth. Even a swing and a miss from Geno is pretty. It's pretty looking.
Which it's usually not the case with right-handed hitters. I mean, like, in general, the prettiest swings you can think of, Ken Griffey Jr., of course, Will Clark. All those guys are George Brett, left-handed, these just beautiful swings. And then right-handers, utilitarian. But man, Geno's is pretty good. So I don't know. It's been cool to see. Geno and Edwin Arroyo playing for the Reds. Edwin Arroyo has not played much. He came in as a pinch runner at all. I don't know. We were kind of talking before, and kind of what were you thinking about? Like, he goes to the WBC, and instead of being in camp, he just runs once.
Yeah, and I get it. It's hard to say no to play for your country when they ask you to play, but he's missing at bats right now, and he's missing time, out in the field. So is this detrimental to him that he's missing all these at bats?
I think it would be if you expected him to be on the opening day major league roster, right? Because he's not going to be needed by the Cincinnati Reds, hopefully, knock on wood, until later. If somebody else gets hurt and he needs to step in or whatever. Right now, he's getting closer to big league experience. To me, he's getting closer to big league experience being in that dugout in Puerto Rico in a huge game. This is a kid who's never been to a big league stadium, much less or played in a big league stadium.
Yeah.
So he is playing in Puerto Rico in front of home fans, or is at least in the dugout and experiencing it, watching it. I'm guessing he is around the manager and the coaching staff quite a bit. Well, his manager's Yadier Molino. That guy, pretty good player. Maybe someone that you can really learn from. And so I think that's and doing it in his home stadium, a place that he went to watch games, WBC games, as a kid. I think as long as he's not being asked to do this right during the season, when you or wasn't expected to be. If he were playing right at the front of the season and you were expecting him on the big league team and he got 2 weeks or a week plus off, 2 weeks off, and you're like, oh gosh, what are we going to do? Then it's bad. But, you look at it, like he is playing with he's playing with Nolan Arenado.
With all-stars and future Hall of Famers, yeah.
Yeah, and then this coaching staff, Alex Cintron, a very good player, Juan Gonzalez and Edgar Martinez.
Yeah.
Sandy Alomar Jr., Joey Cora. These are guys that he's around. Like, what are the 2 weeks in spring training, Red spring training, a place he's been, voices he's going to hear all year?
Yeah.
Is that more important than, heck, one hitting lesson with Edgar Martinez or Juan Gonzalez?
Yeah. And it's probably everyday hitting lessons with those guys, actually. With batting practice every day, he's probably getting a lot.
And not even like a lesson as much as, I've talked to Edwin. He's a sharp kid. For him, just having his ears open.
Yeah.
If he shuts his mouth and listens, and having watched Edwin over a couple of years, that's what I expect he's doing in this situation. Just listening to guys like Yadier Molina, Sandy Alomar Jr., Joey Cora, Edgar Martinez, Juan Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado. I just think that's, to me, that is almost invaluable. And so good for him.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh.
He's going to get plenty of at-bats when minor league season starts.
Right. PK, Pat Kelly in Louisville is not worried about him missing those backfield games or even whatever kind of, what he would be doing in Cactus League. So,
right.
For me, I think the positives outweigh the negatives. So,
got it. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
And
we love HelloFresh.
all right, Danny. Now we are going to go to our new segment for the end. This is telling us we're near the end, so we're going to ramp it up, or ramp it down, I guess, or ramp it up actually, because we don't ramp it down when the closer comes in. It's closing time with Danny Graves. So Danny, what do you got to close with today?
So let's just make this short and sweet. Emilio Pagán, great closer, 30 saves last year, one of the 7 in all of Major League Baseball, has not had a very good spring so far. Actually, you could just say 1 inning. He gave up the 3 homers in 1 inning. Not good, right? But who cares? Who cares? I don't think anybody should be worried about Emilio Pagán. When the season starts and games are on the line, I want Emilio Pagán and pitching in the 9th inning. And there's a reason why. And I'm not making excuses for him or any other closers, but spring training is not an easy time to pitch because depending on when you're pitching, whatever inning, there's the adrenaline isn't the same as the 9th inning in a regular season game when the game is on the line. Now, I know he's a professional player, Trent, and we got to find a way to get amped up and ready for the games. But when you're a lot of times facing guys that you don't know or have never heard of that are just swinging just because they know you're going to throw strikes and they're getting their hacks in, it's tough to pitch in those situations. So I don't judge really anybody that's pitching in spring training. It's to get ready and to get your pitch count and to get healthy and do all that stuff. It's not about stats. So please, I hope nobody's worrying about Emilio Pagán.
This guy wobbles and agrees.
He will be fine. I promise you.
And you know what? So will we, Danny. Thanks. Just like to thank everybody for watching and listening. We'll be back later this week. Please subscribe to the show on YouTube and share, just if you're listening, share with your friends that we exist. Everybody knows Danny exists, but that he still exists. And that we're here. We're trying to push to 1,000 subscriptions, just to kind of as like a nice start, and hopefully we can get there by the start of opening day. And on opening day, we will have things for you, just as we will throughout the season and throughout spring training from here. So, for Danny Graves, I am C. Trent Rosecrans, and this has been Riverfront Territory on the Foul Territory Network.